Nurses, what's the biggest miracle you've seen? I worked night shifts at St. Mary's Hospital for 12 years, and I thought I'd seen everything. Heart attacks, strokes, car crashes, you name it. But nothing prepared me for what happened with Mr. Peterson. Gerald Peterson was 71 years old, retired music teacher who'd had a massive stroke while conducting his church choir on a Sunday morning. They rushed him to our neuro unit, and by the time he arrived, the damage was severe. Complete brain herniation, no response to stimuli, machines doing everything for him. The attending physician told his family there was zero chance of recovery. His son Kevin hadn't spoken to him in 15 years. Not since Gerald kicked him out for being gay and told him never to come back. But when Kevin's sister called him crying, he drove 12 hours straight from Denver to be there. I'll never forget when Kevin first walked into that room. He just stood in the doorway for 5 minutes, staring at his father hooked up to all those machines. Then he pulled up a chair and sat down without saying a word. For 3 days, Kevin barely left that room. I'd bring him coffee and sandwiches because he refused to go to the cafeteria. He'd just sit there talking to his unconscious father about everything. His job as a graphic designer, his partner Marco, their adopted daughter Emma, who just started kindergarten. Most families do this, hoping their loved one can somehow hear them. But after 17 years of nursing, I knew the truth. When someone's that far gone, they're gone. On the 4th night, around 2 in the morning, I was doing my routine vitals check when I heard Kevin's voice crack. He was crying for the first time since he'd arrived. I just need to know if you ever loved me at all, he whispered through tears. Because I still love you, Dad. Even after everything you said. Even after you threw away my pictures and changed your phone number, I never stopped loving you. That's when it happened. The heart monitor started beeping differently. Gerald's hand, which hadn't moved in 4 days, twitched. Then his eyes opened. I almost dropped my clipboard. In 17 years, I had never seen anything like. Gerald looked directly at his son and said in a weak but clear voice, I was wrong about everything. You were always the best thing I ever did. Kevin started sobbing. Gerald kept talking, barely above a whisper, but every word crystal clear. I was scared and stupid. I threw away my own son because I was a coward. Marco sounds wonderful. Tell me about Emma. For 20 minutes, father and son talked like the 15 years of silence never happened. Gerald asked about Kevin's life, apologized over and over, told him how proud he was. Then, just as suddenly as he'd woken up, Gerald squeezed Kevin's hand one last time and slipped back into unconsciousness. The doctors couldn't explain it. Brain scans showed no change. According to every medical test we had, Gerald should have been completely unaware of his surroundings, but he'd woken up long enough to give his son what he needed most. Gerald passed away peacefully 2 days later. At the funeral, Kevin gave a eulogy about forgiveness and second chances. He said those 20 minutes erased 15 years of pain.